never gave up on snowboarding or riding. That's my sport. And I'm really glad I never put that aside. It's just part of me. Like every winter, I'm excited about the snow. I am Heidi. I use pronoun she, her, hers, and I live in Ottawa in Ontario, Canada. Yeah, well, probably started skiing around 4 or 5 years old, and the only thing I could really remember was that I hated it. And then, like one day, my mom was just really persuasive, and let's try one more time. I had an instructor, and it just changed. Something clicked with that instructor, the way I guess she was teaching me, and everything started to make sense on my skis. And then I just started loving skiing. So my dad is Chinese, but he was born in Laos, and my mom is a white French Canadian. In the Chinese culture, it's pretty important, and they do everything as a family. So we skied about I would say as a family, we skied for another 5 more years. But it was getting more and more expensive as a family to go skiing, and my parents could not afford it all. So we just all stopped skiing as a group. But during my teenage years, snowboarding became really popular. I always wanted to give it a try, but I come from a really small place where it's never really been super inclusive, we'll say. So I just never give it a try. But when I moved from my hometown to go to university, new life, new friends. One day I just asked one of my buddy if he can show me how to snowboard. And I just loved it. So all the money I was able to save, I was trying to plan a trip to a hill. There was a hill about 20 minutes drive from my place. So every Wednesday, women were skiing or riding for free. It was just okay, so I just took advantage of that, got to the hill at least once a week for free, without friends or with friends. I was just if I want to improve, I just need to go to the hill and just practice, get the feeling and all that. So I was no. So finally became a decent snowboarder at some point. Slowly started to ride in the glades, and yeah, that's totally my happy place right now. The first kind of day camp I did was called a bleu poudre, so blue powder. So they had the El Nino for kids, and then the blue powder for just women. It was great, but again, I remember that it was a group of women, but the leader of the group were men.
Oh man.
So it's just whatever. We had a lot of fun, and it was great. And I've learned so much during that camp that at some point didn't really care, but when you think about it, it just didn't make sense either.
Yeah, I mean that's just how it was. When they I remember that too. My dad taught women Wednesdays.
Oh, yeah.
That's just how it was.
And I also started telemarketing and just alternating between skis and snowboard right now, because it's just easier with my kids to teach them. Zach started, he was we put him on skis, he was 18 months, but he really started skiing around 3 years old. Same thing for my daughter, Penny. She was about 2 years old. I tried everything with them, the kind of harness, just having my stick, trying to pull them, and their edgy-widgy. Actually, the things that works the best is the hula hoop. It was a bit the first time I got on the chairlift with the hula hoop, and boat kid was a bit of a shit show. Just falling off on the the carpet that bring you to the chairlift. I got stuck with the little gate and the hula hoop. The guys in charge of the chairlift is it's 9 o'clock in the morning. He's 16, probably partied too much. He didn't even look at me. He didn't even stop the chairlift. We were all three of us lying down on that kind of magic carpet that bring you to the chairlift, and then the patroller just came and finally stopped everything. Let's face it, if I don't want them to feel judged or anything like that, well, they need to learn at a young age. We'll always know how to ski. the way we teach them is just like you do whatever you want. Like I'm a woman of color. I've studied in engineering. Sometimes, yes, there was some pushback maybe from some people, but whatever. I just didn't care about it. So that's the way I want my daughter to be raised. And same thing for my son. It's just like, no, like you cannot say that a girl cannot do snowboarding or a girl cannot do skiing, and having that sense of community because friends are coming too with their kids, and it's just a lot of people together having fun. So I think that's the thing. Like, yeah. And wishing you a lot of snow coming.